Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celeste and this is from Far Out. It has been a long time since I sat down and just chatted with you and did my makeup and just hung out. So that's what we're gonna do today. I wanna let y'all know where I'm at. I had some recovery time after I had, my family over for a while and the kid's birthday and like just very busy, very crazy time. So I'm glad to get back into my usual routine. I am glad to be back here with you. Today I'm actually going to start with a smudge. It's not something that I do in every video, but I just felt like for the first one back in a while, we could all use a little smudge. So I'm just using a bundle of cedar. I really love cedar for opening and awakening. And I feel like that's what my spirit needs right now, because I don't know if this is like a universal experience or kind of just like a some people experience, but I often feel like when I'm around family or when I'm like really busy, I kind of forget my spirit a lot. Not forget, because I definitely still have that like priority in my mind, but it just like kind of moves to the back of my mind. And it's not like I don't maintain my daily practice, and I kind of like close off that part. And I think it has something to do with my flow and structure being out of balance. And when I enter structure, I like enter structure fully and I forget my flow, which in the process of attempting to balance my divine masculine and feminine, I need to balance my structure and flow. Also, these last 2 weeks, we got 2 new cats. This is the littlest one. She's just a tiny kitten. Her name is Cloud. She's a little Siamese. And then I'm sure you'll see the other 2 running around. Oh, you can't see my chairs in the way, but we got a long-haired calico as well. And we already had a short-haired calico. So the long-haired calico is like 8 months old-ish. So she's the middle child, and Maple, my oldest, she's about 1 and a bit, and then that little one is probably, I don't know exactly because she's actually a rescue. It's a long story, but she was found at like a factory, just like outside it. She was really young. Like they had to feed her from a bottle really young. They looked around, they couldn't find other kittens, they couldn't find her mom, so she just took her in, and then I became her forever home, which I'm very happy and excited about. So I haven't introduced Makeup and Minerals yet. Makeup and Minerals is a series on my channel where I get ready with you. I chit chat about what's going on in my daily life, and we talk about some crystals that I've been using on the reg lately, what's going on, why I'm using them, the time of season, yada, yada, yada. So let's start with a crystal before I start my makeup. I am actually going to start with kunzite. I actually just pulled this today. I only have this tiny piece. I have a tower that's like mid quality, and then I have a couple of tiny pieces like this that I use for gridding. I actually just pulled this today. I haven't been using it, but it's something that I want to bring to the foreground. Kunzite is a crystal. I'm going to start doing my makeup. Kunzite is a crystal that is all about nurturing and love, and they often call it the mother's stone. It's a beautiful gift for a new mother, because it is a reminder of patience and I want to say gratitude, but not gratitude in the way of like worship or like offering gratitude as a practice, but offering gratitude as more of a mindset, and like understanding why we are grateful for the things that we have and the things that we are. Kunzite is a really beautiful stone for remembering priorities and remembering what is actually valuable, and not getting caught up in sort of like, have you heard the term keeping up with the Joneses? Like not really worried about what's going on around you or out in the world, or like what is cool and hip and now, but just like remembering your actual values. Like whatever your values are, like I don't want to say this crystal is going to give you the same values as me, but for me, this crystal reminds me of what my values are, and those are like motherhood, and those are remembering how I practice with my children and practice with my next generations. And especially for young mothers who, or I don't want to say young mothers, but maybe people who are still working on motherhood and who you are as a parent, whether that, you know, is just happening for you now, maybe you've had kids for a while and you're just like starting to prioritize that kind of thing. Whatever stage you're in, kunzite helps those who take care of others in a way where it will reflect back to you and remember that you need to take care of yourself as well. I don't know if that made any sense. By the way, a little bit rusty from talking. I haven't talked about this kind of thing, oh my God, in a long ass time, because I don't have any like spiritual IRL friends, and all of like my social media stuff is like just my YouTube. So, and I haven't filmed for a while, as I said, so I might be sounding a little weird. And I tried to film this the other day because I posted in my community tab. I was like, I'm gonna film a makeup video today and let you guys know what's going on. And I tried to, it really did. I promise, I did. But it just, I was like 5 minutes in and I was like, this is lame and sucks, and I didn't really know how to talk. So here's another thing that I'm working on. A good time to pull another crystal. Look how fluffy that brow is. We'll get there. Is this smithsonite. This is a blue smithsonite, and something that I have been working on, and you know, my necklace here as well, this is labradorite and clear quartz, is working on my throat chakra and sort of learning how to express my needs, express my feelings, because like kunzite, when you are a new mother, it's really hard to take care of yourself. It's really hard to, you know, prioritize yourself, because not only are you like super busy and doing a million different things, but you also have like this mom guilt of like, if I do something for myself, that's like time taken away or money taken away from what I could have done for my kids. And I don't know if that's a universal experience. Again, I don't really have any other mom friends or friends, period. You guys, all my internet friends. So let me know if you also experience parental guilt. I don't want to say just mom, but if you also experience parental guilt in trying to balance caring for yourself and caring for your kids. So when I get into a phase of like, oh, I know that I need to do this, or I feel that I need to do something like I need to feed myself, I need to nourish myself in some way. I don't always know how to communicate that without it being like bogged down by guilt. So using smithsonite is really going to clear out, because it works with your heart and your throat chakra. So it's really going to clear out those like unnecessary attachments to our needs, things like guilt and shame, or whatever it may be, that keeps you from expressing your needs, whether it's expressing your needs to a partner. Like I know that my husband and I, not to air out any dirty laundry or anything, but as most parents know, when you have a kid, it's a big strain on a relationship, and we had 2 at one time. So it's been a lot, and working on our communication skills, working on our expression of needs is something that is really prominent in our current lifestyle. So working with smithsonite helps me to acknowledge my needs in my heart, like know what my heart is telling me that I need to replenish myself with, need to be patient with myself with, something that I'm working on. And then working on my throat chakra to express that, to bring that out into the world, to be able to not only communicate it by speaking it, but communicate it by showing it and like asking for it and doing it for myself, physically doing it. I've been currently in a bit of a phase where I feel like my root chakra is like super blocked, because I have been feeling like I'm not doing anything. And so for me, the way that I balance my root chakra has a lot to do with my physical actions. And when I feel that I'm being lazy, or I feel like I'm ignoring my responsibilities, that's when I feel like my root chakra is the most blocked. And I know that's not like universal, like just, you know, taking a lazy day or like being tired or whatever is not necessarily proof or like saying that your root chakra is out of balance. But for me, connecting my heart and my throat chakra and my root chakra is really going to help me to acknowledge my needs, express my needs, and then act on those needs. Because sometimes we just feel off and we don't know what it is. So starting in the heart space of like listening, and that's another part of the throat chakra, is not only expressing, but bringing it internally by listening, and allowing yourself to feel. When I connect my throat chakra and my root chakra, it helps me to expand my root chakra. I feel like throat chakra crystals are really good at expanding. So when I am able to expand my root chakra, it's able to help me grow in many, many ways, whatever my intention is. I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I hope this like makes sense to somebody. If not, it's helping me right now, so it's fine. But anyway, so yeah, I'm working on balancing my heart chakra, my throat chakra, my root chakra. A great way for me to do the throat and heart is my smithsonite. So getting into, I didn't actually pull any root chakra crystals, which maybe I should have. I feel like that's something that I don't focus on too much. Other than when I'm in like heavy gym mode, which by the way, I have not been in heavy gym mode for a while. I was like feeling super depressed when I was doing my shadow work week. So I skipped it for like a few days that week, and then I skipped it the entire time my parents were here, which was like, I think a week or like 10 days or something. And then all of last week, it was my first week like being alone with the kids again. So I was like super overwhelmed, super stressed out, and I skipped it again. So hopefully this week we will pull back into our root chakra space, remember our body, remember the importance of what our body holds, and hopefully get back into that gymmy mindset. Like I feel like my relationship to exercising has to shift a little bit, because as it stands, it's a little bit unsustainable. Because right now, like, I love working out and I love like moving my body, and you know, like seeing results of like strength. Like I stopped like tracking weight, because that's just like really triggering for me. I don't track calories or anything like that, but it is obvious. Like I love daily wins. You know what I mean? When like my son, he's the heavier of the two, even though he's 2 minutes younger, but he's fucking so heavy. But when I carry him around and I go, wow, he's not that heavy today, that makes me feel really good. Or when I'm able to play on the floor with them and like literally roll around and just move my whole body without like getting out of breath, is a huge win for me. And that's like what I'm working towards. So that's how my relationship needs to change a little bit, because I often feel like gym, like going to the gym, working out, whatever it is, even if it's small, like just, you know, being on the treadmill or just doing some yoga or whatever it is, or if it's like heavier, like strength training and things like that, I feel like in the past my relationship has looked at that as more of like a punishment, or like, oh, you overate today, you binged today, you need to do like an extra 30 minutes. And that's just not sustainable. It really isn't, because when something's a punishment and it makes you not like doing it, and then you don't do it. You know what I mean? Like you don't prioritize it, because who's going to prioritize a personal punishment? So when I get back into my movement space and understand that movement is good for me, whether, you know, I'm burning off the same or more amount of calories that I ate, or like not trying to focus on the physical appearance of how my body is, and just more focusing on what my body can do, is something that I really need to get back into. So yeah, maybe I should have pulled some root chakra crystals to sort of get me into my body space or my movement space. But I think my throat chakra with my smithsonite is a way that I express. And if I pull that energy, like use this smithsonite crystal and pull it with the intention of bringing my expression to my physical body, to my root chakra, to my physical earth experience, I think that'll really help a lot with how I communicate health to my body, because health is a huge priority for me, and it's something that I really, really, really want to maintain. I haven't talked about my makeup at all. Do you guys care if I talk about like what products I use, or ew? Bruh, anybody else dating or married to a bearded man and find beard hairs everywhere all the time? How the fuck to get in my bronzer, dude? It's gross. Y'all, don't ever take my advice on anything because I have a man's beard hairs. You know what? You know why? Because I did his makeup the other day and I used this product on him and he has a beard. If you want to bond with your partner, whether they wear makeup regularly or not, do their makeup for them. It's so fun. It is like, it's really fun. We've been having a bit of a hard time just because we're both like really stressed out. The time of year, you know, we're like, it starts to get really dark and it's hard on all of our mental health, which, you know, puts us all in a place of sensitivity. And then things like budgeting for Christmas presents happens and my parents' visit happens and the kid's birthday happens. It's like it's been a whole thing. So we've been really prioritizing like our relationship and how we communicate and where we stand with each other. And it's super, super important. So, kunzite actually is another really good crystal for that. If you are somebody who needs to bring some attention back to your relationship, work with kunzite with your partner, sleep in the bed with kunzite, because it's a really great partnership stone. And that's why it's really great for mothers as well, because it's going to connect you to different relationships and how you show up in different relationships. So whether you're showing up as a nurturer, as a mother, whether you are showing up as a partner, regardless of how you want to show up, kunzite will help you to maintain that goal. I love bronzer. It's like my favorite fucking part of makeup. I hate when I get like one hair though on my face and I want to scratch it, but it will ruin everything. Anyways, so let's move on to another crystal now that I've talked about smithsonite and kunzite. Getting into my heart space, getting into some expression, some self-nourishment, some baby nourishment, some romantic relationship nourishment, just really taking care. And I think that's a great focus this season because we are, oh my gosh, are we in Scorpio season? What's the date? Yeah, I think we're in Scorpio season. We just left Libra season. Libra season is all about finding the beauty and finding the life and the joy in things, which I really do think is something that I focused on this Libra season. You know, just like focusing on my family and what I have and how to build these things beautifully. Entering Scorpio season, I don't know what Scorpio season is going to bring me. I really don't. But something that I'm focusing on is gratitude. So this is Golden Healer. And Golden Healer is my personal favorite stone for offering or creating gratitude in my life, understanding the priority that I have on hope and the future, and just really allowing myself to be grateful for what I have as opposed to looking at what could be coming for me. I'm just sort of like sitting in this place in this moment. Golden Healer is very Christ conscious, very hopeful of a future, hopeful of you know, like giving people and even yourself the benefit of the doubt, knowing that, you know, you may be in difficult circumstances, you may have made poor decisions, you may have done XYZ, but at the end of the day, your intentions come from a place of good because you are a good person. Even if you know your action was probably a poor choice, at the end of the day, you are still a good person. You are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of beautiful things because that poor choice that you may have made, it's not definitive of who you are. It doesn't make you that kind of person. I'm going to set my face really quickly. Bruh, has anybody ever hit pan in a baked product? Mama did. Mama really did. I mean, it's the only pressed powder that I have. So that's why. But it's really cool that I'm like hitting pan on things because I feel like I say this every makeup video, but I used to have so much makeup, I would never finish it. I would have to throw it away when it, like, because it either expired or I just, like, didn't like it anymore. So I'm so proud of myself for using and appreciating the products that I have. It doesn't stop me from wanting to buy new ones, though. I just discovered the Flip app. Anybody on Flip? I have a cart full of makeup, skincare, hair care products. and it's probably not good for me, but I think it'll be a great way to save on Christmas presents. Oh, reminder, if for those of us that get paid bi-weekly, you have 4 paychecks left until Christmas. And for me, at least, depending on like which week your bi-weekly payment is, my last paycheck is December 23rd, like of the year, but, or at least before Christmas. So get on that, babes. Don't forget a budget. So my family, like back home, did I forget my bronzer? Oh, we do like a secret Santa. So my family's huge. So instead of like everybody buying gifts for everybody, which would be insane, we only buy gifts for the person that we pick. So, we do a secret Santa and, you know, there's a budget and you buy the gifts for that person. But then also we do a stocking secret Santa. So you also pick a different person, or it could be the same person, but it's an additional name, to do a stocking for them, which is like my favorite part. I would much rather do a stocking because the stocking has like cute wrapping paper and it's like little surprises, and I don't know, it's just cute. Nobody makes lists for stockings. Like you don't make a list of like, oh, what do I want in my stocking? So it really is just like, buying things that you see that you think that person might like, which I love. You know, as much as I appreciate, you know, lists giving me like ideas and like direction, and also like I appreciate being able to give a list because I would prefer to receive things that I know I want. I will either go and spend my own money on later, or I would like truly appreciate. As much as I appreciate being able to give a list so I don't end up with things that I probably won't ever use, I like surprises, and I like being like, oh, you thought of me on this thing? That's so cool. But anyways, yeah, that's just what my family does. But here with my husband's family, everybody buys gifts for everybody. And it is a big family because there's grandkids, there's cousins, there's in-laws, siblings. It's a big family. So that is going to be super fun for us to buy 100,000 gifts, but I'm excited. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. To be honest, I know this is going to be controversial in like the ooky spooky witch side of the internet. I don't really fucks with Halloween that much. I don't know. It never, I mean, I guess it used to. I'm not going to say never, but definitely when I was like a teenager, I was into Halloween all day long. It was a whole thing. I loved Halloween, but nowadays I'm a Christmas gal. I like getting together with family. I like, you know, eating lots of food. I like the special recipes. I love the, just the ambiance, the people decorate the street, the mall is cute, you know, pictures with Santa, the whole ordeal. And like, we're not even Christian. We don't even really celebrate like Christmas, you know what I mean? But just the vibes. I like the vibes. Let's see what we got next. Let's talk about another crystal. What was I just talking about? Oh, I was talking about Golden Healer, Hope for the Future, a great, a great Christmas crystal, looking into what's next, looking at the beauty that is surrounding you, not worrying about what's coming, not worrying about a fresh start, not worrying about anything other than like right here, right now in this moment. I'm happy, I am loved, I am surrounded by goodness. I will say I am currently taking advantage of the, or not taking advantage, but like working with the new moon energy, because we are currently right now, as I'm filming this, in a new moon. So I always appreciate the new moon because it brings such a beautiful energy with it. Understanding that there is more to come, and if you're having a hard time finding the beauty in what surrounds you, the new moon reminds us that there will always be another chance. There will always be another cycle. Sorry, my brushes are very dirty. I switched to storing them in this little makeup bag instead of just like in like cups standing up like this, because I found they all got so dusty with like cat hair and just like general house dust. So I started doing that and they're a lot better, but sometimes they still get a bit dusty. Anyways, let's talk about another crystal. Oh my God, I fucking love this highlight so much. Let's talk about another crystal. Let's talk about selenite. This is something that I absolutely have been using. It's one that I use very regularly in like my practice for like ceremonies and intentions and stuff like that. But on the day-to-day, I love selenite because it just offers a piece of clarity. It just offers lightness and clarity, like ensuring that what I'm doing and what I'm saying, what I'm expressing, what I'm feeling is coming from a place of truth, and it's coming from a place of pure source, as opposed to being bogged down by, like I said before, being bogged down by things like guilt, or being bogged down by, you know, anger and grudges and things that we just don't need to hold, that are not beneficial to who we are. Selenite just offers a bit of truth. And that's what I really appreciate. It's something that I'm working on in my throat chakra, not necessarily like lying, like intentionally lying, but living in truth and living in reality. So seeing things as they are, not seeing things from my own personal bias. You know, I talked about it a little bit in my Shadow Week video, where when I am rejected in some way, or if I offer something and that piece is rejected, they're not rejecting me. They're not saying like, oh, that was a stupid idea, Celeste, why would you offer that? They just don't want the thing that I offered, and that's fine. So that's one example of how I use selenite to clear the way for things that come in and clear the way for things that come out. So ensuring that I'm expressing truth, I'm expressing reality, I'm expressing how I actually feel, what I actually need, and I'm also receiving things in truth. I'm not receiving things that are, you know, colored by my own biases, right? So love selenite. It is such an integral crystal. If you are just starting a crystal collection, or you have a million crystals and you don't really know where to start with actually practicing with them, start with selenite. Selenite is going to open the door for you to see what you need. It really is an opener. I love it paired with cedar, because it just enters you into that beyond the mist, beyond the, you know, earth covering, really into spiritual truth. So we love that. It's going to open yourself up. If you, and I know I'm talking about my throat chakra a lot, but that's just like what I've been working on. But wherever you feel that you have blockages, wherever you feel you have tightness, or you have things that need to be cleared out and opened and breathed life into, selenite is going to be a great one. So my base is finished. I'm going to spray really quickly, and then we're going to get into the eyeballs, which is my favorite part. I don't often wear eyeshadow in my regular day-to-day, so when I get time to do these videos and sit down with you guys, I like to go all out, because to be honest with you, I am gonna go into the bathroom and wash all of this off almost immediately, because I have some work to do first, so I'll probably leave it on for a little bit. But also my Urban Decay primer potion expired. It started to smell like shit and not work. So I switched to this one. I just had it in my drawer. This is like maybe my second or third time using it. It's by Sandbar. I don't know. I got it in an Ipsy. So I don't know if it's going to be good or not. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I have some work to do, so I'll probably keep it on for a little bit. But I am hoping to work out today. Finding some time to do that, maybe during the kids' second nap, is when I usually work out. Also, sleep training is going very, very well. We've been sleep training with naps since about 6 months, 2 naps a day, and they've been doing fantastic. Like right from the get-go, they really loved it, and it really helped them sleep at night. My girl, she has been sleeping through the night for months. Forrest, though, my boy, he needs a little help with sleeping through the night. He does sometimes, but he very often needs food in the middle of the night, like cries to eat something. But we're also in a time where we're trying to wean him off of formula, so we're switching to like regular like soy milk or oat milk, and just finding out what he needs, because I'm super lactose intolerant. All of my family is super lactose intolerant. I'm pretty sure he's lactose intolerant because he has like really bad skin. So, and I actually noticed since switching to soy milk and having less formula throughout the day, his skin is so much better. So we're working on it. We're finding what works and what doesn't. Yeah, anyways, so I brought these 2 eyeshadow palettes. This is the Natasha Denona Glam palette and the Pat McGrath Platinum Bronze. I'm wearing like gray little elephant pants. So I wanted to do like a little cool tone, but this is not super cool tone because there's like these purples, but I could do here, but there's also only one matte, and it's this like burgundy. I don't know. So I am just gonna go into, I want like dark gray. I also brought this Natasha Denona Biba palette because this is my eyebrow color. Y'all, look at that. Oh, almost got a pan. I'll let you know how that goes. But I think I'm actually gonna just go here. I want to like branch out and use more than this palette, but this is my favorite fucking palette. It's so good. You know what? No, fuck it. I'm just gonna go into this palette because I haven't used this in probably over a year. So let's give it a try. While I start doing that, I just finished talking about selenite, so let's talk about fluorite. I have this beautiful, I think this is octahedral or whatever. This is like the natural shape of it, just kind of grows like this. This is blue fluorite. It's got some purple banding in it. But fluorite, as always, is a really great stone for direction and organization. I'm just gonna set my eyes. Direction and organization, and I love yellow fluorite for my solar plexus because it really helps with like discipline and directing your energy and directing your power. So when it comes to blue fluorite, especially like bluey purple, that sort of shifts to a more energetic space as opposed to like a physical discipline or direction. But this has been really, really great in helping my third eye and my throat chakra communicate. So helping direct that spiritual energy, helping to open my, you know, download pipes or however you want to call them. Just sort of getting into a space of receiving from spirit again and opening those pathways of expression. Because like I said, I've been feeling like very disconnected purely because of my own priority. Like I'm not going through anything other than me actively choosing not to do something. So yeah, the blue fluorite has been helping me to open up my spiritual path and open up my my communication to my guides again. I feel like often when I go through phases of not practicing, I kind of have to start over. And it's very similar if you are somebody who likes to work out and then doesn't for a while and then has to get back into it. Sometimes you got to go back down to the lower weights, or you got to go back down to lower reps, and you got to build that stuff up again. But you also need to do that spiritually. So if you have been practicing for a very long time and you don't for a little while, be patient with yourself and let yourself fall back into things again, because things change very, very quickly. Especially in the spiritual world, I find like, oh my God, I can like look in my mirror and be like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And then I look in the viewfinder and I'm like, ew. What was I saying? I find like things spiritually can change so much. Like I can be like on this path and moving forward and things are going great and I'm receiving message, I'm feeling divinely guided, all this. And then like one day it just stops and I'm like, what the fuck? What do I do now? And I feel like sometimes it's a test, not necessarily a test. I don't like the idea of like our guides testing us necessarily, but like offering us opportunity for us to take or not. It kind of feels like we've guided you to this spot. You are in this spot because of us. Now where are you going to go? Because like I always say, as earth spirits, we have free will. We can keep our eyes open or keep our eyes closed. And it is totally and 100% up to us how much we receive from spirit and how that translates into our daily life. So going back to the blue fluorite, it's helping my spiritual expression. It's helping open up my my third eye visions. I don't want to say visions because I don't necessarily like see visions, but opening up my means of communication to spirit is basically the intention behind using blue fluorite. There's a lot of other things that you can use for blue fluorite. It is also very helpful in like physical expression when you are communicating with a partner or you're communicating at work or anybody. It's really great for like focusing and making sure that your mental energy is going in the direction that you need it to go in. They often call it the student's stone because it is really good for focusing on tasks at hand. But what I'm using it for is more on the spiritual side of my mental body as opposed to the physical side of my mental body. So that's great. I have 2 more crystals left. Let's finish up this eyeshadow real quick. I am just going to blend, does that look okay? I feel like when I don't do my eyeshadow for a while, you know what? I'm saying the same thing over again. When I don't do something for a long time, I have to relearn how to do it. And that sucks. I wish I could just like maintain, like just know how to do shit all the time, but I don't. I'm gonna get out of this palette. I'm gonna go over to this Mothership palette. I'm gonna use this like satiny one on the outside, and then I'm gonna use one of those two. I'll have to decide. That one's like a greeny silver, and that's like a pure silver. We shall see, but I'm gonna start with this dark one right here in the outer corner. Yeah, I feel like I could just like hold things and keep knowledge, but unfortunately, that's not how the world works. I wish I could just like know how to do something all the time. And I feel like I'm getting there in certain cases. Like, it often has been really frustrating for me in my motherhood journey, like learning how to sleep train, learning how to, you know, make food for toddlers, just like learning how to do all of those things. But I feel like more often than not nowadays, things are coming a bit more naturally than they used to. And I love that for me. I love feeling like not a pro, but I love feeling like I'm good at what I do, because I have to do this whether I'm good at it or not. So it's a really good feeling to know that I am good at it. Let's talk about another crystal here real quick. I am talking about this. Obviously, this is not one that I use because it's fucking huge. I mean, like, I'll sit with it, but it's more of a decorative piece. But I do have some smaller pieces of blue labradorite that I've been sitting with and using. Again, another third eye throat chakra stone. But labradorite feels more connected to history, to me anyways. Like, this is not, I'm not saying this is universal, but to me, it feels more connected to history and my ancestors. So when I work with blue labradorite specifically, because labradorite comes in a bunch of different colors, but blue labradorite specifically really helps me feel connected to my Akashic records, helps me connect to my purpose in my spirit, my purpose here on earth. It helps me connect to the messages that my ancestors leave for me. I want to do a video about ancestors because I feel like every time I say that, there's like connotations and things that come with that. And then it gets like racial and it's a whole thing. I don't know, but maybe that's something I can say for another day. But when I say ancestors, I mean like my spirit ancestors, like the spirit energies that my spirit energy is connected to and has come from. So it doesn't necessarily mean like my blood ancestors, like my great grandpa or whatever. It's more just my spiritual connections and my spiritual family, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna go in with the lighter of the two. I think this might be getting hard pan. It's a very old palette. This came out many moons ago, but I love it. Oh my god, Pat McGrath just does it. She just does it. Anyways, so yeah, blue labradorite. I feel like the reason that I started working with all these blue crystals was because I was having a really hard time expressing myself to the people around me, but expressing myself to myself sometimes, and allowing myself to express. So when I work with blue labradorite, it helps me feel that the things that I'm feeling are truth. And imposter syndrome is something that I struggle with a lot, where I don't allow myself to fully feel things, or I don't allow myself to flesh things out because I feel like they all come from a place of like attention seeking, or they come from a place of like just the things that aren't reality, things that I don't know how to explain it. I feel invalidated in my feelings a lot. And when I work with ancestral stones that help me express, it makes me feel like my expression comes from rooted in truth. It brings a lot more power to my feelings. It brings a lot more power to myself. It allows me to really express without judging myself. Judging myself is what I'm looking for. I am so bad with judging myself. And, you know, judgment is not something that I receive from outside sources. Like, I don't really ever feel judged by my partner or my family or anything like that. Like, I feel you know, very supported in general. But sometimes I can't let myself go through something because I'm like, what, girl, what are you doing? Like, just like, shut up. This isn't valid. And I hate that for me. I do not want that to be a part of my life. I do not want that to be something that I pass on to my kids through like unconscious action. I really, really, really want to remove that self-judgment piece. So when I work with my ancestors and I feel like things are being given to me as opposed to me creating things, I think a lot of it is coming from a lack of trust in my creation ability, a lack of trust in my power. Which is really hard because for us to grow, we need to know that we are rooted in our power and in our truth. And if I don't have trust in either of those things, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? It's going to be a bit of a problem. Are those even? I feel like this one's a little darker. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I'm working on. My imposter syndrome is a big, big, big thing. Because not only do I feel like an imposter, or I feel like I struggle with imposter syndrome when like practicing spirit or, you know, practicing ceremony or feeling emotions in general. I also feel a lot of imposter syndrome in like motherhood. And so I feel like I'm doing everything wrong all the time. And one day CAS is just going to show up at my door and take my kids and be like, you're a fucking idiot. Which is not going to happen. I am totally aware. Like when I can think about it logically and when I can put my feelings into my mind, I know that a lot of my fears are completely irrational. But when I do start to feel them and when they come up in my mind, they're very real. So I'm working through that. I'm working through finding truth in my feelings. Finding truth in fear, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think that this was the direction the video was going to go in, but here we are. So eyeshadow done. I'm going to quickly just do a bit of mascara and show you my last crystal. So my last one that I have is malachite. This one also has, you can see on the back there, a little, will that focus? I don't know. Hello? You can see a little bit on the back there. There's some chrysocolla in it. So again, that heart and throat chakra vibe, but because it's malachite, it has a bit more of a detox vibe, but not a detox as in like the same clarity that a selenite would bring, but a detox as in like using bleach on a tub and you can hear like the germs sizzling, or you can hear that like foaming of things being killed. That's what this feels like. It's really heavy. It's sometimes really hard, but it will really get into those deep crevices and pull out the super old garbage that you've been carrying, the super old, forgotten about, you know, ingrained habits that you didn't even think were a problem. You've never really analyzed before, but it will show you what does not need to be there. I actually don't think I'm going to throw in any mascara. I'm kind of just going to leave it like this because again, I am just taking this off anyways, and I've been working on trying to keep my eyelashes healthy using different serums and mascaras that are good for you, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to do my lips real quick while I finish up talking about malachite. So malachite with the chrysocolla, for me, my intention behind using this one is to bring some old ingrained habits to my consciousness, to bring awareness to those things that I need to work on, because I am in a place, especially since I've been feeling so disconnected spiritually, I'm in a place of just like not knowing what's going on, not knowing what am I doing wrong? What actions am I doing that are holding me back? Like, what can I change about myself? Because there's only so many things that you can change about the world around you. But when it comes to your own actions and your own situation, you have a lot more power than you think you do. So I'm just trying to bring awareness to the power that I do have and the things that I can change that are going to make a difference. Very quick line. Oh, damn. You guys, stop talking to me. You're distracting me. It's fine. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, I'm literally so annoying. Okay, so I've rambled on a lot about what's going on in my life, and I would love to know what is going on in your life. What are you holding on to that you need to let go of? What have you been working on letting go of already? What are you excited about for this Scorpio season? What's the Scorpio season going to bring you? Cool. Yeah. All right, y'all. I hate my lips. I hate it. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that these crystals brought a little bit of inspiration to you. My random chatting about nothing brought a little inspiration to you, and I will see you in the next one. Peace and love from far out.